Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, altcoins. Bitcoin has been ranging, has been going down despite the Federal Reserve cutting interest rates by 25 basis points. So are we due for a crash now, or we could be seeing like a nice rebound? Of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. We try to post a video every day or 4 or 5 times per week, and this video is brought to you by our partner Bluefin. We are now running an amazing promotion, guys, up to $1,000 in futures bonus. What you gotta do is to sign up. There is a link in my description. Sign up with my code, register on Bluefin, and then you can get your $1,000 in future bonus to do whatever you want. Highly recommended non-KYC exchange. By now, guys, Bitcoin is being ranging around $94,000, $90,000, and out of pride, I'm not gonna say this out of cockiness, but out of pride, despite all of this craziness, guys, my VIP members have been printing money. It's incredible. With my calls, with the other pro member calls, but also trading by themselves. Why? Because we are a community. We are a hub for crypto trading investors. If you're an investor, if you're a trader, if you want education, guys, this is the place that you have to be. Okay, we don't only give you trading signals and copy and paste. We have so much more. We have trading ideas every single day, 2 or 3 altcoins every day. We have crypto, Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum updates every single day compared to many other groups. We have trading ideas from here, spot trading, when I'm buying, when I'm selling, altcoins, long-term, education, anything you can think of, crypto weekly updates, 1 hour and a half long videos about what I'm doing, what I'm buying. So, and of course, all the trading calls, like for example, yesterday, Bandy just came and plays along on Bitcoin, 111%, just like that. Very high quality group, guys. So if you're interested to really elevate your trading game and to go to the next level and to really learn properly, there is a link in the description, little trailer, and also our trading results, guys, and everything is documented. Whatever I post, whatever I place on this VIP group, guys, my members right now are watching me at the moment. They're watching me, so they know exactly that I cannot lie. So that's what you get, okay? But of course, if you're looking for copy and paste signals and you can't even understand how to go long or short, please go somewhere else. This is only for people that are serious about crypto trading and also investing. But right now, what is going to be very important, guys, I just purposely showed you this fractal here where I really hope people are going to get angry. So if you go on Twitter right now, everybody is talking about this fractal, which is coming from 2021 and 22. So I want to show you the potential for this fractal to actually be true, and if it's going to materialize, and what could it be the catalyst for this to happen. So the first catalyst that we could be seeing soon, it could be about the Bank of Japan. So on December the 18th, right, in a week time, we are going to have the Bank of Japan coming and potentially increasing interest rates. So right now, investors are freaking out, thinking it's going to be the end of the world, and that could be putting some pressure. Another reason why crypto is going down is because of they were talking about the AI bubble risk. So we have this huge wall of worry, huge. Like I will say that the hawkish Fed cut. I don't even understand what is a hawkish Fed cut. Everybody's freaking out. So basically, it's a confirm, according to 90% of people on Twitter, traders, it's a confirmed bear market right now, okay? I tend to disagree, but we're going to talk about this later. So next week is going to be very important because we're going to have so many other events as well. Apart from the Bank of Japan raising rates on Thursday 18, we're also going to have CPI. CPI is going to tell us, what's happening with inflation. Is inflation coming down? Because number one, the economy right now, despite everybody saying, oh, it's a disaster, recession, the economy, as per now, okay, it's doing okay. It's not into a recession. People try to say, we are in 2007, 8, where it was an emergency. We are not at that level right now. But what you can see from here right now is that Tuesday, we're going to have also the unemployment rate. So we need to see what's happening right now with the unemployment rate. We need to see with the CPI. And also we're going to see with the Bank of Japan. Because you never know. Maybe the CPI is going to come low. Maybe unemployment rate is going to come, I don't know, normal, and then Bank of Japan is not going to cut rates. What's going to be happening to risk assets? Okay, so it pisses me off when I see people saying, oh, but because the fractal 2021 shows you like that, so this is bear market, let's ignore anything else. I don't know what's going to be happening from a macro point of view of all this news, right? But what I know is that I know that I don't know. Let's put it this way, okay? So let's analyze, this fractal for a second when it comes to Bitcoin. So you can see that we have basically this fractal, okay? And first of all, people say like, it looks the same. Although it could be the same, although it could be very similar, okay? In 2021, we picked, first of all, before. So you almost picked here. And with this fractal, we went higher one more time. Second of all, if this was actually the same fractal as this one, then it will be taking all this time to go and form this shape. So it means that we still go around March for Bitcoin to form a potential higher low and then decide, is this one the bear market, the bull market, whatever. Okay, so people are telling me that, oh, but this is 100% is going to be happening. Guys, it's not 100%. It could be likely, it's possible. Okay, there is a possibility that this is, the same fractal. But to me, it could be either be this one, it could be either this fractal, it could be either this fractal here, and it could be either be this fractal here. Something that it's very important, that it's, I would say, making me believe that we could be seeing maybe another little, we can say, drawdown, and I showed you so many times. It's looking at the volume. So the volume tells you so many things, like usually it's real, it's transparent, and as you can see that despite Bitcoin pumping here, I mean, pumping in a very, is a big word, but despite pumping, you can see the volume is still very, very low. Compared to, for example, here where we saw a spike in volume, which were coming from this point, and then a spike in volume coming from here. To me, I still believe that this chart is similar to what I saw in 2025 and 2024. I could be totally wrong, okay? So don't, this is not financial advice at all. It's just an observation, okay? But if that's the case, to me, it will be making sense that Bitcoin could be going down to this area. So you could be doing something like that. It could be trying to go higher, as I told you so many times, perhaps to 96,000, 97,000. Drop again one more time to make everybody believe is the bear market, is the end of the world or whatever. And then from here, you can do like that. So to me, that's still my base case scenario. My base case scenario is still Bitcoin to go back in between 110,000 to 115,000. That's still my base case scenario. Okay, so despite the fact that BTC could be going down to 74, 75 to go and retest this area, my bias would be that we should be seeing what we call like a complacency rally, higher low, I don't know how you want to call it, and then we're going to collapse down like that. Okay, that's possible. Or we're going to accept BTC to go higher here and then to continue. And what could it be the catalyst? I showed you already before, CPI, PCE, whatever we talked about before. Another one is about the Fed started to buy treasury bills to manage market liquidity. Another one could be the crypto structure bill and everything. But looking at the sentiment right now, looking at the people getting frustrated, looking at they're basically saying like, let's see, bear market, we're going to go to 30,000. To me, it seems off. It seems off to see all of this fear and despair and desperation, I don't know how you want to call it, where Bitcoin is sitting there at $93,000, which is nothing crazy. So I will highly disagree that right now, I can't say this is a bear market or a bull market. is the end of the bull market. It's impossible to say, but what I can say is that according to the sentiment, this probably will be the most anticipated bear market in the history. And that's the reason why I like to put my contrarian hat on and thinking Bitcoin could surprise us in the future. Now, looking at short term, what can we be looking at right now and what is going to be super important? As you probably know, hopefully, we should be able with Bitcoin to pump at least up to this area at 99,000 to 100,000. The two areas right now I'm taking into consideration that to be thinking about a potential long or short position, in my opinion, are going to be the following. So number one is going to be around 97,000 to 98,000. And we need to understand if Bitcoin is going to be able to go and reach those kind of areas, because now is really looking very tired already. And you can see right now, like we have a diagonal resistance here, which doesn't let us to go higher. So in case we're going to be able to go and break this diagonal resistance, then I would say that Bitcoin could be having an acceptance up to this area, even to $101 to $102,000. And then from that level, in general, what we could be seeing could be a ABC correction. Some people talk about here a 5-way down. I think they were calculating like this, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, which is possible. Okay, but another, I would say, potential call could be an A, and a B, and then a C. That's also possible, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so once you're gonna be able to go up to this area, the consideration will be maybe to open a short. We're gonna be discussing as well all of this in my VIP, but at the same time, right now, if I had to think about going and opening a long position, I would probably wait right now for like a better confirmation, because right now this looks more of a bear flag, we can say. You know, some people are arguing that this one looks like a bear flag, and they could be right. They could definitely be right, and it could be breaking down like this, down to 73 to 75, which it makes absolute sense, okay? Or otherwise, if you're going to be able to go and close above this area, then it's going to be super, super bullish. Now, let's have a look at Ethereum. I'm going to go on ETH just to see the point of the situation right now. So ETH is looking very similar to Bitcoin. I can see lots of hype, in regards to Ethereum, that people are saying, oh, but is the chosen one. Tom Lin calling for, 100 and whatever. Ethereum $65,000. I really want to see in a real recession what happens to Ethereum. Also, guys, another, I would say, a reason why I'm still relatively bullish, it's about a guy called David Hunter, the contrarian. This guy, although he got so much criticism, to me, throughout 2022, 2023, when he was calling for the S&P could go to 6,000, 7,000, he nailed every possible call on S&P, on gold. So now he's calling for S&P to 9,500, which is massive. So Ethereum, the situation is the following. You can see that we have a very important level of resistance now to overcome, which is sitting right now at 3,700, 3,800. To me, looking at the structure of ETH, what I could be thinking is going to be, if we're going to see a continuation of the pump with Bitcoin potentially going to 98,000, 100,000, I could be seeing Ethereum to also go around 3,700, 3,800. After that, again, we need to understand if this is going to be a wave 1 out of 5, or it's going to be an ABC, like A, B, C correction, where we could be going down to maybe 2,300, 400. That's also like a possibility. Remember, there is lots of volume coming from this area in between 3,400 and 300. And then from this point here, we should be able to go higher. But once we're going to reach this point, it's going to be a big level of resistance. It doesn't mean I'm going to go just blind and start to short the market, but it's a point where we could be seeing a rejection from there. Because, of course, we used to be higher, we were going well, and then we just broke down from here. So it's going to be more likely to go here, have a rejection, small rejection, or even bigger, and then pump even more. But for Ethereum, guys, my target hasn't changed so far. I'm still expecting around 7,000, 7,500, where, of course, altcoins could be pumping as well. Now, next one I want to talk about, guys. Talking about alt season, there is something else we need to discuss, and I think it's very important. Talking about total freeze, so that's where we are again. So nothing has changed, to be honest. I know like lots of people are getting, angry, frustrated. They're thinking, oh, is the end of the world, guys. Nothing has changed. We're still below this area. We're still getting rejected. Crypto doesn't know really where to go. And as I said before, total free, we could be going to fill this week down to here. We could be doing something like that. Fill the week and then potentially to go higher again. Once you're going to go to this point, we need to analyze what's happening. And of course, if we're going to go to this point, what's happening, where we are, where is Bitcoin, where is altcoins, where is the dominance. So then we can decide, and we're going to restructure the portfolio, which I'm going to be doing this with my private group. But at the moment, it looks like there is a good support here. If Bitcoin decides to go and dump to $75,000, $74,000, it's possible that we're going to be seeing total free to go down even to $750, $700 billion market cap. But again, that's going to be a good opportunity for our friends, market makers and institutions to go and scoop up more altcoins. Now, next one I want to show you, very important, is the Bitcoin dominance. So BTCD that has been trying to go higher. You can see we're now still below this resistance. So people like Ben Cohen from the cryptoverse into the cryptoverse are saying that Bitcoin dominance is going to go higher again. And listen, it could be right, but at the same time, is it going to be the last inning? Are we going to see this Bitcoin dominance then to continue to go higher until here, and Bitcoin is going to drop to 40K and altcoins are going to get destroyed? Or do you think that Bitcoin dominance is cooked and then we're going to continue lower? Okay, that's something you got to ask yourself. What is more likely? What is more likely to see a drop to 54 or even to 45 of Bitcoin dominance, where altcoins are going to overperform Bitcoin, or are we going to see a continuation? To me, my scenario, as I showed you before, is more about seeing like a drop in Bitcoin dominance, or they might be trying like an attempt to form like a shoulder on this head and shoulder, and then to continue down. First target here, second target here, where altcoins should be doing very well. And also, guys, not to criticize Ben Cohen, because I think he's great, he did very, very well. But also, I would like you to remind you that in April 2025, in April, when we went down to here, he was calling for 60K Bitcoin. And he said, just go back to his videos, okay? He said we were going down to here at 60K, and then we would have a complacency rally up to 90 and then down again. Okay, so I understand, he's great. I'm not trying to criticize him. I think he did very, very good calls, but also he was wrong. So don't think that, because he said that, that's it, then nothing else is going to be happening. Of course, you listen because he's great. I think he's very smart, but at the same time, also observe the situation. Just don't go and, do things based on what he's going to say. Now, another thing which I would say could be making us think that we could be going down as well, it's the USDT dominance. Okay, that's a very important chart right now that I'm observing, and I think it's very important, and it's about as we discussed before. So we are now at a very important selling area. So as per now, and this makes sense, whenever you talk about your fractal from 2021-22. As for now, USDT dominance is following exactly what happened in 2021-22, exactly there. Okay, so if we're about to follow the same pattern, because it looks very similar, but again, is it looking the same because market makers want to do like an idiotic game, like the M2 and Bitcoin, and then are gonna change everything, or is this real? Because if you can see from here, okay, now potentially if it's gonna follow the same fractal, we basically have another until February, January, where BTC is probably gonna go in between 95 and 110. If you look from here, before basically getting destroyed and going down to 65K, 60K, if that's the case, because it's following exactly this fractal. So the thing is, you need to think is, when are we going to see a divergence in the structure? Now, what could be the catalyst for here to see the divergence? The crypto structure bill is coming, could be a positive catalyst. The Federal Reserve, the head of the Fed, new head of the Fed, is going to slash interest rates down to zero. That could be the catalyst. But eventually, we can come here and talk about anything you want, about technical analysis, about potential, catalyst, whatever. At the end, Bitcoin is highly manipulated by big boys, and they can do whatever they want. So they're going to pump it whenever they want to pump, pretty much. Okay, so it's going to be a time where they're going to say, it's time, and they're going to pump it out of nowhere. That's my expectation as for right now. Now, another interesting chart we can observe here is the DXY. DXY is going down. So it's the dollar currency index. And whenever this one goes down, in general, it's positive for risk assets. And you can see that looks like it could be on its way down, another way down from this point. And if it's going to continue to go down, the next level we could be seeing the DXY going is going to be around here, around probably 89, 88. And that's a huge level here. So if the dollar is going to go and completely crash down to this area, what's going to be happening to inflation? What's going to be happening to risk assets? It's a very important question. This is bullish, guys, but another, we can say, bearish argument is this one here. Gold, all-time high again. But again, when is gold going to retrace? Is it going to continue to go up to 6,000, 7,000, 8,000? Eventually, it will have to retrace. And what happens when it retraces? Where is the money going to go? More likely into risk assets. But what is going to be the catalyst for that? That's why we had to be alert to see what is going to be happening. Another important one to be bullish or bearish is going to be the US 10-year Treasury yield. You can see right now it's game time here. It's game time where we need to find a resolution here. I saw a chart, I don't remember from whom, that it was also showing that we already broken this level of support, and now we're just retesting and having a rejection here. So if this is going to continue to go down, the yields, then the Fed is going to be forced to continue to cut interest rates, more cheap money into the economy, and we should be able to see more pumps coming in. That's going to be the expectation. The only, I would say, drawback, the only concerning part of this movement is the S&P 500. But the S&P 500, right, it's mostly going up because of the performance of the Magnificent Seven. So if you take Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, and all of that, Google, all of them are like all-time high. But have a look at the small caps. They're doing shit. They're doing like nothing. So the question is going to be when and what is going to be happening when those markets, those Mag 7 are going to go and retrace. As I said before, I will be much more confident if the stock market had already a little bit of a retracement and Bitcoin was also retracing than say now Bitcoin can go to 200,000 with an S&P 500 to be already at $6,900. So to me, I think it would be extremely bullish if we are going to see the stock market S&P to go and retrace down to here, 6,200, 6,000. Bitcoin go down to 75, 74, whatever is going to be, and then we're going to have a stronger possibility, a strong chance to then to continue the rally. But so far, that's what I'm thinking right now. So to summarize everything, am I concerned about this? Well, yeah, I'm very concerned because if it's going to go down to 74, 75, I'm going to buy way more. That's what I'm going to do. And right now, I can just trade in between, so there is not so much to worry about. Do I believe we are in a bear market? I don't know. To be honest, I have no idea. I can see, could be. I'm still bullish until proven otherwise, but are probably going to have better answers when we're going to have, if we're going to have our relief rally a little bit more down the track. Because if this is true, if we're going to see, we're going to confirm the thesis of our perma bear friends, our doom scholar friends, is that we are going to see this. That's what I'm talking about. So a release, relief up to 105 to 106,000 to then go down even more. So once we're going to get to the point, then I'm going to analyze and see where we are, what's going on, and what am I going to do. Simple as that. But what I would like to ask as well is, what if we're going to go down from here to this? Is the 2022 fractal invalidator, and then we're just going to die here, or what is going to be the point? So again, that's the reason why watching a fractal just doesn't make sense. But otherwise, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope it was helpful. And if you have a question, please leave a comment down below, and I'm going to see you in another video. Take care and see you soon.